The Vatan Jagirs of the Rajputs. Rajputs means sons of a king. Rajputs were recognized for their bravery, faithfulness, and royalty. They falls in the category of the Kshatriya warriors who fought in the battles and took care of the governing functions. Rajputs enjoyed their eminence during the 6th to 12th centuries. Until 20th century, Rajputs ruled in great majority in the princely states of Rajasthan and Saurashtra. Many Rajput kings, particularly those belonging to Amber and Jodhpur, had served under the Mughals with distinction. In exchange, Rajputs were permitted to rule themselves in their Vatan Jagirs. These influential Rajput families tried to extend their control over adjacent regions. They claimed the Subadari or governor of the rich provinces of Gujarat and Malwa. These offices were renewed by Emperor Jahandar Shah in 1713. They also tried to seize portions of neighboring Mughal imperial territories. Nagaur was conquered and annexed to the house of Jodhpur, while ruler of Amber seized large portions of Bundi. Savai Raja Jai Singh founded his new capital at Jaipur and was given the Subadari or governor of Agra in 1722. The Marathas were a Marathi-speaking warrior group from the western Deccan Plateau who rose to prominence by establishing a kingdom. Maratha campaigns into Rajasthan from the 1740s put severe pressure on these principalities and checked Rajputs' further expansion. The Sikhs. Sikhism, religion and philosophy founded in the Punjab region of the Indian subcontinent in the late 15th century. Its members are known as Sikhs. According to Sikh tradition, Sikhism was established by Guru Nanak, led by a succession of 9 other gurus. During the 17th century, Sikhs helped in regional state building in Punjab. Several battles were fought by Guru Gobind Singh against the Rajput and Mughal rulers, both before and after the institution of the Khalsa in 1699. What is the Khalsa? You may remember reading about it in chapter 8. Guru Gobind Singh was the 10th Guru who instituted the Khalsa. After his death in 1708, the Khalsa rose in revolt against the Mughal authority. Under Banda Bahadur's leadership, the Sikhs established their own administration between the Satluj and Yamuna. They declared their rule by striking coins in the name of Guru Nanak and Guru Gobind Singh. In the 18th century, the Sikhs organized themselves into a number of bands called Jadas. Their combined forces were known as the Grand Army or Dal Khalsa. A system called Rakhi was introduced, offering protection to cultivators on the payment of a tax of 20% of the produce. Guru Gobind Singh inspired the Khalsa with the belief that their destiny was to rule, or Raj Karega Khalsa. Their well-knit organization enabled them to put up a successful resistance to the Mughal governors and then to Ahmad Shah Abdali, who had seized the rich province of Punjab. Ahmad Shah Abdali, who is also known as Ahmad Khan Abdali, was the founder of the Durrani Empire and is regarded as the founder of the modern state of Afghanistan. The Khalsa declared their sovereign rule by striking their own coin again in 1765. The Sikh territories in the late 18th century extended from the Indus to the Yamuna, but they were divided under different rulers. One of them, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, reunited these groups and established his capital at Lahore in 1799. The Marathas. The Maratha kingdom was a powerful regional kingdom. They were a Marathi-speaking warrior group from the western Deccan Plateau or present-day Maharashtra. Shivaji established a stable kingdom with the support of powerful warrior families called Deshmukhs. Peasant pastoralists were the backbone of the Maratha army. Pastoralist is a farmer who breeds and takes care of animals. They move their livestock across the large land area for grazing. There were groups of highly mobile, and Shivaji used these forces to challenge the Mughals. After Shivaji's death, effective power in the Maratha state was wielded by a family of Chitpavan Brahmanas. They served Shivaji's successors as Peshwa or principal minister. Pune became the capital of the Maratha kingdom. Under the Peshwas, the Marathas developed a very successful military organization. Between 1720 and 1761, the Maratha Empire expanded. Malwa and Gujarat were seized from the Mughals by the 1720s. By the 1730s, the Maratha king was recognized as the overlord of the entire Deccan Peninsula. He possessed the right to levy Chaud and Sardeshmukhi in the entire region. Chaud and Sardeshmukhi were taxes conceived during the times of the great Maratha ruler Shivaji. Chaud means basically 1/4, that is 25% of gross revenue or produce to be paid to Jagirdars of Maratha Empire from enemy or alien state. In return, the state paying the tax would get an assurance of non-aggression from the Maratha army against the enemy state. Sardeshmukhi is an additional 10% tax levied upon the collected Chaud. The reasons for the additional tax was due to the king claiming hereditary rights upon the tax collection. The Sardeshmukhi directly went to the king's treasury, whereas the share of king in Chaud was 1/3 of the gross Chaud collected. In 1739, Delhi was conquered by Marathas and it expanded rapidly into Rajasthan and the Punjab in the north, into Bengal and Orissa in the east, and into Karnataka and the Tamil and Telugu countries in the south. Expansion brought enormous resources. These military campaigns also made other rulers hostile towards the Marathas. As a result, they were not inclined to support the Marathas during the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761. The Marathas developed an effective administrative system. Revenue demands were introduced, taking local conditions into account. Agriculture was encouraged and trade revived. This allowed Maratha chiefs to raise powerful armies. Scindia of Gwalior, Holkar of Baroda, and Bhonsle of Nagpur were Maratha chiefs who had powerful armies. Maratha campaigns into Malwa in the 1720s did not challenge the growth and prosperity of the cities in the region. Ujjain expanded under Scindia's patronage and Indore under Holkar's. Ujjain and Indore were large cities. They functioned as important commercial and cultural centers. New trade routes emerged within the areas controlled by the Marathas. The silk produced in the Chanderi region now found a new outlet in Pune, the Maratha capital. The Jats. The Jat people are a traditionally agriculture-based community largely in rural parts of northern India and Pakistan. The Jats consolidated their power during the late 17th and 18th centuries. Under their leader Churaman, they acquired control over territories situated to the west of the city of Delhi, and by the 1680s, they had begun dominating the region between the two imperial cities of Delhi and Agra. The Jats were prosperous agriculturists. Towns like Panipat and Ballavgarh became important trading centers in the areas dominated by Jats. Under Suraj the kingdom of Bharatpur emerged as a strong state. When Nader Shah sacked Delhi in 1739, many of the notables from Delhi took refuge in Bharatpur. The Bharatpur fort was built in a fairly traditional style. At Dig, the Jats built an elaborate garden palace combining styles seen at Amber and Agra. Its buildings were modelled or architectural forms first associated with royalty under Shah Jahan. In the various state systems of 18th century India, the common people did not enjoy the right to participate in the affairs of their governments. In the Western world, this was the situation until the late 18th century. The American and French revolutions challenged the social and political privileges enjoyed by the aristocrats. The ideas of citizenship, nation state, and democratic rights took root in India from the late 19th century.